Okay? Tulad nga ng sabi ko, no, we are going to discuss today radiobiology and radiation protection. And the reason why we are going to study it is because class, we have studied electromagnetic waves. And kung naalala ninyo, class, in our previous discussion about electromagnetic waves, alam natin that these are energy that is propagating in space. No? At dahil energy tong electromagnetic waves natin, it can transfer energy to matter. So ibig sabihin kayo as matter, no, as individual who has atoms, kasi we are considered as matter, once na nag-hit sa atin tong mga electromagnetic waves, we can actually absorb the energy coming from these electromagnetic waves because these electromagnetic waves class are considered as energy carrier. Meron silang specific amount of energy class and yung specific amount of energy na to, it can be absorbed by any matter. The same is true as you as matter, no? Dahil matter din kayo, no? You are also matter. Once you encounter these electromagnetic waves, you can absorb the associated energy out of these electromagnetic waves. Kaya nga class, tinatawag na silang tinatawag din sila class na electromagnetic radiation. So they are also called class as electromagnetic radiation. Yung electromagnetic waves natin kasi hindi lang sila simply what do we call this? Hindi lang sila simply disturbance in your space, but also they are actually carriers of energy. And as a matter, no, like us, no, we can actually absorb the energy coming from these electromagnetic waves or electromagnetic radiation. So meaning you can use the term alternatively, no, pwede mong gamitin yung term na electromagnetic waves or electromagnetic radiation, no? Both are synonymous with each other. No, pareho lang sila since their electromagnetic waves are class energy carrier. Thus, they can be also called as your radiation. Tatandaan ninyo class, please be reminded of this kasi you will encounter this when you grow, not you grow older, as you go up to higher level, no, when you proceed to specifically senior high school na kasi kayo next year. So, may encounter nyo yung term na particulate radiation. And that would be different from electromagnetic radiation. May pagkakaiba sila. Pag sinabi kasi nating electromagnetic radiation, ito yung radiation that is due to the presence of electromagnetic waves. So yun yung tatawag natin electromagnetic radiation. Pag sinabi yung particulate radiation, it's different from your electromagnetic radiation kasi dito, ang energy carrier is not the electromagnetic waves. Instead, ang energy carriers natin are particles. For example, are alpha and beta particles. Yung alpha and beta particles na to, they are actually particles that carries energy. So yun yung pagkakaiba nilang dalawa. No? So, pag electromagnetic radiation, ang carrier ng energy mo are the electromagnetic waves. Pag particulate radiation, ang carrier ng energy nyo are the particles. For example, we have the alpha and beta particles. At marami pa, there are actually many particles that can be considered as particulate radiation. No, lalo-lalo na kung nag-result sila, class, from a nuclear decay. Kasi pag nagkaka-nuclear decay tayo, nakaka-produce tayo ng tinatawag natin particulate radiation. Kaya nga class, pag may radioactive material, class, na malapit sa inyo, much as possible, you must avoid it kasi it emits both electromagnetic radiation and particulate radiation. Okay, just a quick thought. Now, I have a question to you, grade 10. For example, class, you are in an area, no, that is high with background radiation. Let us say yung background radiation, it's comprised of electromagnetic radiation or electromagnetic waves. Anong mas dangerous? Is it an environment filled with, let us say, infrared radiation, or an environment filled with X-ray? Which is more dangerous? Palagay mo, Martha, anong mas dangerous? If the area is filled with infrared or if the area is filled with X-rays? Martha, what do you think? Any quick thoughts? Martha? I think Martha is not around. No? Tama. Martha is not around. So let us try to call others. No? Brenny, kindly mark them absent pag hindi sila sumagot. Sige, let's have Kier. Palagay mo, which is more dangerous? An environment filled with infrared or an environment filled with X-rays? Kier. What do you think? Ano kaya mas dangerous? Kier. Kister. Why don't you turn on your microphone now? Kier, kindly turn on your mic. Okay. Let's have others. Ayaw mag-on ni Kier ng mic. Okay, let's have sige, let me call your attention. Brenny, ka, which is more dangerous? It is an environment filled with infrared radiation or an environment with extra background radiation that is filled with X-ray. Anong mas dangerous, Brenny? Which is more dangerous? I cannot hear you, Brenny. Brenny, which is more dangerous? Is it an environment filled with infrared or an environment filled with X-ray? Yes? Yes, narinig kita. Ha? Brenny, can you hear me? Gumagana yung mic mo kasi naririnig ko yung audio ko. It's feedbacking in your device. So meaning you're not talking. Brenny. Okay, I think Brenny do not want to. Yes, Brenny. Okay, Brenny do not want to answer also. Okay, Janica, which is more dangerous, palagay mo?
Janica. Sir, palagay ko pong mas dangerous po yung X-rays po compared sa
infrared. Why kasi, X-ray field environment is more dangerous than infrared field environment, Janica? Bakit?
Sir, kasi po yung X-rays po, ayun po, since they have shorter wavelength po, they are more energetic po.
Okay, very good, no? Because they have greater frequency and shorter wavelength, they are assumed, no, to be more dangerous kasi mas mataas yung energy na kinikarry nila. And that is actually correct, no? So meaning, class, as you increase the amount of energy that is carried by your electromagnetic waves, they are becoming more dangerous or more hazardous, no? Specifically to matter. And to be exact, no, the reason why is that kasi yung mga radiation natin from visible light, no, pababa dito, pababa yung frequency yan at pababa yung wavelength. From visible light going to the left, no, we call them as non-ionizing radiation. So technically, yung radio waves mo, yung microwaves, infrared, and visible light, they are called non-ionizing radiation. Tapos, beyond naman the visible light, no, starting from, actually ultraviolet, hindi pa nga no. Sige, pero let's start with ultraviolet. Pero yung mga, yung mga, siguro, yung mga portion ng ultraviolet rays na highly energetic, pataas, papunta dito sa gamma rays, no? They are the one that is considered as ionizing radiation. So tatandaan ninyo, a radiation can be ionizing or non-ionizing. Ulitin ko ha. Ang radiation natin, it could be ionizing or it can be non-ionizing. No? Pag sinabi nating non-ionizing radiation, sila yung going towards the left side, meaning from the visible light. Actually, let's include some of the ultraviolet spectrum. From the ultraviolet spectrum pababa, okay? From the ultraviolet spectrum pababa, they are non-ionizing. Meaning na non-ionizing radiation, sila yung mga radiation that carries low energy or hindi masyadong mataas yung energy na kine-carry nila, mababa lang yung magnitude ng energy na kine-carry nila, and thus they are not very hazardous, no, to matter. Hindi nila kaya mag-undergo ng tinatawag nating ionization. Samantalang when you have here in the far ultraviolet, no, sa far ultraviolet, meaning a portion, the ultraviolet that carries high amount of energy towards the right side, no, towards here, the right side, and from far ultraviolet, sorry for that, from far ultraviolet going here to the gamma rays, no, tawag sa kanila is ionizing radiation. And yun nga, yung ionizing radiation, they carry large amount of energy, and thus they are able to undergo the process which we call as the ionization energy. Sorry, ionization energy, the ionization process, no. And they are actually absorbed by matter as the ionization energy that enables them to undergo the ionization process. So masasabi natin, no, from ultraviolet, no, from near ultraviolet papunta sa radio waves, those are non-ionizing radiation. And from far ultraviolet going to the gamma rays, no, they are ionizing radiation. And ito, meaning your gamma rays, X-rays, and ultraviolet, yung far ultraviolet, I'm not talking of the whole ultraviolet radiation, they are considered as ionizing and they are very dangerous. And that is why as individual, no, living with this kind of hazard, we must understand the mechanism. Bakit sila, bakit medyo dangerous? Hindi naman medyo. Bakit talaga dangerous talaga sila? Hindi medyo dangerous. Bakit dangerous tong ionizing radiation na to compared to the non-ionizing radiation? So, tatandaan ninyo, class, the difference is that when we are speaking of non-ionizing radiation, these are actually the electromagnetic waves with low amount of energy, but they are not capable of the process of ionization. Hindi nila kaya mag-undergo ng process of ionization. They can only excite electrons. Ang kaya lang nila is mag-excite na electrons. Samantalang, yung ionizing radiation, dahil sobrang taas ng energy na kinakare nila, it's not only excitation of electrons, but they can already eject electron. Kaya na nilang magtanggal ng electron sa matter. And the removal of the electron from the matter is what you call as the ionization process. Para mas maintindihan ninyo, let me show you this illustration. So this illustration, class, demonstrate what you call as ionization process. Ayan yung sinasabi ko sa inyo kanina na ionization process, in which kung mapapansin ninyo, dito sa ionization process, no, nag-absorb tayo dito ng electromagnetic waves, and upon absorption of electromagnetic waves, you are able to remove electron. The removal of electron from an atom due to the absorption of electromagnetic radiation is called as the ionization process. So pag sinabi ng ionization, class, yan yung process kung saan, no, yung matter natin or yung atom natin, it's able to absorb electromagnetic radiation, and in return, yung electromagnetic radiation natin, it causes the electron to be ejected or to be removed from the atom. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga non-ionizing radiation, pag inabsorb sila ng atom, hindi tayo nakaka-remove ng electron, na-excite lang natin sila. But, yung mga ionizing radiation nyo, on the other hand, pag na-absorb sila ng atom, hindi lang nila na-excite yung electron, but they are able to ionize the atom, meaning they are able to remove the electrons from your atom. So, that's the difference between ionizing and non-ionizing radiation. The ionizing radiation are your radiation that can cause the removal of electron from an atom. Now, the problem is, sa atin, very dangerous to. Okay, remember class na na yung genetic material natin is DNA. We have the deoxyribonucleic acid, and our DNA or deoxyribonucleic acid are found inside the nucleus of your cell. No? Kung maalala ninyo that we have studied that when you are in grade 7. Ngayon, nangyayari, no? Yung DNA natin, dahil gawa siya sa, of course, gawa to sa atom, it can absorb your electromagnetic radiation. And let us say, no, ang na-absorb niyang radiation is ionizing radiation. So pag naka-absorb siya ng ionizing radiation, ang nangyayari, nagre-remove tayo ng electron. At yung na-remove nating electron, class, would become what you call as free radicals. Maging tatawag sa ng free radicals. And because of the removal of electron, nadi-destroy yung DNA natin or nagkakaroon tayo ng mutation in our genetic material. And sometimes, not all mutations are good. Sometimes mutations can be bad. And yung mga cancer, for example, no, yung cancer are actually caused by mutations. So meaning, sometimes this cancer are caused by the ionization of your DNA molecule. So meaning, yung skin cancer, sige, let me give you an example. The best example is skin cancer. Remember that in our atmosphere, sa atmosphere ng planet Earth kasi, it lets ultraviolet rays to enter it. Pero not all. Kasi iba, sinasala na ozone layer. Sometimes, class, may mga ultraviolet radiation that can reach our body, specifically our skin, no. And pag reach yung skin niya, i-absorb yung energy na yon ng skin ninyo, and nangyayari, yung skin cells ninyo, pag in-absorb yung energy, sometimes it can damage the DNA. Kasi nagkakaroon tayo ng removal of electrons from your DNA and the formation of the free radicals. Now, once na remove the electron, na free radicals are formed, these are very reactive, no? And yun nga, due to the removal of electrons, sa destroying DNA, tas may electrons ka pa or may free radicals pa na kaya pang mag-react with the DNA, which makes it more dangerous, which makes it more capable to cause mutation in your DNA. And because of this, no, ang nangyayari, nagkakaroon tayo ng skin cancer due to the mutation in your DNA. So, that's how it works, no? Kaya medyo dangerous yung mga ionizing radiation natin. Kaya nga, class, as much as possible, no, pag may nuclear source, we need to avoid it because it can cause ionization in matter. And because of that, that can be dangerous, especially sa mga living system kasi pwede siya mag-induce na mutation. No? Siguro, kung face-to-face I will let you watch the Chernobyl incident, no? Kung saan nagkaroon tayo ng nuclear accident, and ang dami niyang hazardous effect kasi very radioactive, no? Very radioactive yung lugar, it cause mutation, no? And a biological effect, no, to your living systems present. So, yun yung dahilan, no, why we, as much as possible, we need to protect ourselves from ionizing radiation. So meaning, class, if the planet Earth lets ultraviolet rays to enter the planet Earth, may mga portion kasi tayo na ultraviolet ray na kinoconsider na ionizing. So ibig sabihin ng class, we must protect ourselves from ionizing radiation. Kaya class, ang payo ko sa inyo, you always wear your sunblock. No, whether hindi kayo nagsiswimming, no? Kasi class, this sunblock can help you protect class from the absorption of energy from ultraviolet radiation. Kaya lagi kayo mag-wear ng sunblock even though hindi kayo magsiswimming. It's actually an extra precaution, lalong-lalo na nakatira tayo in a tropical area where we receive direct sun rays or direct sunlight, no? And if that would be the case, malaki amount ng ultraviolet radiation na pwede natin matanggap sa planet Earth. So you must, as much as possible, you must protect yourself from it. So you should use sunblock instead. Okay, anyways, going back to this one. So ano bang mga sources ng radiation natin? The sources of radiation can be cosmic or terrestrial. It can be coming from the outside of the planet Earth. Yung sunlight natin is an example of a cosmic source of radiation. Meron dito kayong tinatawag na terrestrial sources sa lupa. No, sa lupa, or kung di man sa lupa, sa within the Earth system, yung source ng radiation natin. So those are the possible sources of radiation that we have. And we must protect ourselves from our radiation. And tatandaan ninyo do not forget this, grade 10. There is, pag nagpapa-x-ray kayo, there is only a certain amount that your body can take. Pag lumagtaw na kayo sa threshold na yon, you must avoid x-ray na. No? There must be some kind of limit kung ano amount of energy that you can take from an x-ray radiation. Okay, because of that class, specifically if you wanted to become what do we call this? Radiologists in the future, yung mga radiologists natin, because you have only a limited time exposure to x-ray, it is an important skill for them to understand yung tatawag nating radiation dosimetry. And pag sinabi nating radiation dosimetry, it is the way that physicists and radiologists class quantify the amount of energy class na inaabsorb ng katawan, and class itong radiation dosimetry sa science class that helps them to quantify the amount of radiation that can be absorbed by the body, and the amount of radiation that can be absorbed by the body before there is a significant effect on the body. So technically, yung knowledge on radiation dosimetry is very important. It will help you understand, class, how are you going to quantify yung radiation na na-absorb ng katawan, and if whether or not ma-reach na yung limit, class, nung radiation absorption na allowable para sa isang living system, or for us human, let us be practical here, for us human, kung malapit na ba yung limit na yun ma-reach. And that is why skills on radiation dosimetry is very important. The first thing that we need to look at in radiation dosimetry is yung tatawag nating absorbed dose. When we are speaking, class, of absorbed dose, it is the amount of energy bago magkaroon, pag sinabi natin absorb dose, class, ito yung amount of energy na ina-absorb ng isang matter per unit mass. Again, when we are speaking of absorbed dose, we are speaking of the amount of energy that a matter, class, is absorbing per unit mass. So meaning, class, if that would be the case, in order for us to solve for absorbed dose, we will have energy divided by mass, kasi we are referring to the amount of energy absorbed by the matter per unit mass. So that will be the equation, and the unit for absorbed dose will be gray. Marami pang ibang unit for gray. We have also the rad, or 1 radiations, and 1 radiations is equivalent to 0.01 gray. Meron pa tayong ibang units, yung tatawag natin sieverts, useful units rin. I will give you the value of sieverts later when we are dealing with problems related to radiation dosimetry. Now, so tatandaan ninyo, class, ganito, di ba yung absorbed dose, class, ang sinusukat lang nun is the amount of radiation absorbed per unit mass. Again, pag sinabi natin absorbed dose, ang sinusukat nun is the amount of radiation absorbed per unit mass. Pero hindi yun enough, class. Hindi yun enough information, kasi ang kailangan nating malaman is the amount of absorbed dose bago magkaroon ng biological effect sa living system yung radiation. And in order to do that, para magawa yun, class, we are needed to compute for the equivalent dose. Kailangan natin makompute yung tatawag natin, class, na equivalent dose. So kung kanina yung absorbed dose, ang tinutukoy natin doon is the amount of radiation absorbed per unit mass. Dito, pag sinabi ng equivalent dose, when we are speaking of equivalent dose, we are actually speaking of the amount of energy absorbed bago magkaroon ng epekto. Again, it's the amount of energy absorbed bago magkaroon ng epekto sa living system yung radiation. So tulad nga ng sabi ko, may certain limit lang na ng amount of radiation or electromagnetic radiation pwedeng i-absorb ng katawan natin. At pag nag-exceed tayo beyond that limit, nagkakaroon na tayo na tatawag natin biological effects. So I will not give the details on the different biological effects kasi when I was in my when I took my degree in college that was equivalent to one subject para pag-usapan lang yung biological effect ng radiation sa katawan. It will take us a whole semester, so I would not detail those biological effect. But the thing is, in order for you to compute the amount of radiation required bago magkaroon ng biological effect yung radiation natin, we need to compute for what we call as equivalent dose. And usually the unit for equivalent dose is in sieverts, sieverts, or it can be in terms of Roentgens equivalent to men, or yung REM na tinatawag. So those are the possible units for your equivalent dose, It's sieverts or REM, or the radiation equivalent to man. And in order for us to compute for this equivalent dose, ang gagawin natin is that i-multiply natin yung tatawag nating radiation biological effectiveness or relative biological effectiveness, relative biological effectiveness times absorbed dose. Let me repeat myself. To compute for equivalent dose, we need to multiply the relative biological effectiveness times the absorbed dose. So, paano ba kinukuha yung relative biological effectiveness? Relative biological effectiveness class, ang ginagawa natin dyan is that we are going to get the ratio. Kukunin natin yung ratio ng standard radiation, the ratio of standard radiation para magkaroon ng biological effect to your test radiation. So, kumbaga, in the laboratory, para makompute nating RBE or relative biological effectiveness, meron kayong standard radiation. At yung standard radiation na yon, known na yung value ng standard radiation na yon kung kailan siya magkakaroon ng effect sa biological system. Ngayon, gagawin nyo, using your test radiation or using the radiation that you are actually testing, titignan nyo kung ano yung amount of radiation needed to be absorbed in order for that to have an effect. And pag nalaman nyo na kung ano yung amount of radiation it needs for the test radiation to have an effect, kukunin mo yung ratio ng standard radiation, divided by the test radiation, yung absorbed test radiation. And from that, makocompute nyo yung tatawag nating RBE or relative biological effectiveness. Let me repeat it again. To compute for RBE, we need to amount of effective standard radiation divided by amount of effective test radiation. I'm typing it so that you can write it down in your notebooks, or in your piece of paper, So to compute for RBE, you have the amount of effective standard radiation divided by the amount of effective test radiation. So yan yung way para ma-compute nyo yung tatawag nating relative biological effectiveness. At kung alam nyo na yung relative biological effectiveness, pwede nyo na ma-compute yung equivalent dose by multiplying the RBE to your absorbed dose. And that is how you're going to compute for the equivalent dose na tatawag natin, or this would refer to the amount of radiation that is needed to be absorbed by the matter or by the unit mass in order to have a biological effect. Okay, am I clear? Am I clear before we go? So later, we will have problem solving on radiation protection. But before I proceed, did you understand me so far? Yes or no? Grade 10. Naintindihan ako? Grade 10. Grade 10. Grade 10, am I asking a very difficult question? I'm asking you if you understand me. I think that's not a difficult question to answer. Naintindihan po ba ako? Yes or no? Naintindihan ako. Brenny, am I clear? Clear ako? So I think no one is listening to me kasi I'm asking if I'm clear. No one is answering. Diba? So meaning absent lahat except si Brenny May.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Angelo, may tanong ako sa iyo.
Yes, sir.
Angelo, anong mahirap sagutin sa tanong ko?
Yes, sir.
Why it would take you 10 minutes before you answer my question? Kung mahirap or hindi. Naku ha, grade 10. I'm just asking if you understand. Be honest. Kung hindi, it's answer no. Kung oo, yes, di ba? Hindi yung papatagalin ninyo. This would take a few while, no? Magka-answer lang ng yes or no, hindi pa magawa. Grade 10. So, am I clear? Yes or no, grade 10? Oo, hindi.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Renny, later mag-attendance tayo. It seems like most of them are not around. Okay, so tatandaan niyo in order for X-rays and gamma rays to become very effective, no, in terms of causing biological effect, yung RBE nila or yung relative biological effectiveness nila must be equals to 1. Okay, so now, how do we protect ourselves from radiation? Actually, meron tayong tatlong principle. We have 3 principle to follow. At ito yung tatlong principle na ginagamit when you are designing a radiation facility. So in order for us to protect ourselves from radiation, may tatlong principle. Later on, I will show you ano yung tatlong principle na yun. But keep in mind na itong 3 radiation protection principle na to is also the principles that are used when you are trying to design a radiation facility. So ano ba yung tatlong principle na yun? So the 3 principle are the following. First is to minimize time exposure. The less yung time exposure nyo sa radiation, no, the less yung time of exposure nyo sa radiation, the less yung equivalent dose, the less yung biological effect. Okay. Another thing is to maximize your distance from radiation. The greater the distance you have from the radiation, no, the lower the biological effect. No, kasi mas mababa yung magiging absorbed dose. And pag lower yung absorbed dose, obviously, mas mababa talaga yung magiging mas mababa talaga yung amount of radiation na ma-absorb due to greater distance, and because of it, mas ma-avoid natin yung biological effect ng radiation. And of course, meron tayong tatawag na shielding. Kaya nga kung mapapansin nyo, class, iba yung mga nag-x-ray sa inyo, I think most of you naman have experienced taking x-rays already. Kung mapapansin niyo when you are trying to take an x-ray, yung mga nagtatrabaho sa radiation facility, nag-wear sila ng parang vest. Yung vest na yun, class, gawa yung sa lead. Kasi class, lead is a very resistant material to your radiation. Very effective sila, class, in hindering the radiation to be absorbed by the body. It's a very good shield. So that is why most of the radiation facility, you will see the worker, nakasuot sila ng vest. It's for them to be protected from radiation. So I think that's all we need to consider. Now we are going to problem-solving approaches related to radiation dosimetry and yung radiation protection principles. Okay, so let us begin with our problem-solving. So before we go to that, let me copy a problem first. Okay, bago tayo mag-problem solving, may tanong po ba? Grade 10. Do you have questions? Renny, attendance nga tayo. Medyo nagda-doubt ako sa sa attendees na to. Angela, are you around? Wala si Angela. Brenny, can you mark her absent? I would also remove her. Nonsense na may pagpasok dito. Wala naman. Angelo.
Sir.
Bin George.
Present.
Brenny, of course, dito ka. Dwayne,
Yes, sir.
are you around?
Yes po.
Nag-answer na eh. Erica.
Present.
Oh. Janica.
Present po.
Okay, good. Jemish. Wala rin si Jemish, Bren. Can you mark her absent? Oh, ba't hindi mag-on ng mic? Naku. Pag di nag-on ng mic, meaning, sira yung mic, ganun. Ay, naku, ang tagal ng palusot niyan. Hindi ko natatanggapin yung palusot na yan. Kaartehan na yan. Kate, bumili kayo ng earphone sa may mic. Hindi na yan acceptable. Kate. Kier. Wala si Kate. I think wala si Kate. Present. Okay, good. Kiara.
Present po.
Present. Rafael.
Present, sir.
So I presume wala si Angela, saka si Kate. Can you mark them absent? Pinaglololo ko lang nila yung sarili nila. Sige, let's try to consider some problems related to radiation dosimetry. So let's try this first. Bago tayo mag-solve ng problem, let me review first the basic concepts. Angelo, sige nga, review tayo. Anong unit, not the unit first, no? Ano ulit tawag natin sa physical quantity class where it allows us to measure the amount of radiation absorbed per unit mass? Ano ulit tawag sa unit na yun, Angelo? What do we call that unit? Angelo? Ha? Correct, no? Pag sinabi nating absorb dose, no, when we are speaking of absorb dose, this is the amount, no, of radiation absorbed by unit mass, no? And absorbed dose is equivalent to the amount of energy divided by mass kasi we are referring to, no, the amount of energy absorbed per unit mass. And usually anong unit natin for absorbed dose? What is our unit for absorbed dose? No? Ang unit natin for absorbed dose is in gray, no? Is in gray or pwede rin joules per kilogram. Gray and joules per kilogram are just the same. Okay, now, the thing is, tulad nga nasabi ko sa inyo kanina, hindi yun enough, no, to understand the effects of radiation. Thus, we need to compute what we call as equivalent dose. Kailangan mo nating i-compute yung tinatawag na equivalent dose. We need to compute for the equivalent dose. And pag sinabi nga natin ulit na equivalent dose, this is the amount of radiation necessary to have biological effect. And anong equation natin for equivalent dose, Kier? Sorry, we have Kiara na lang muna. Kiara, what is our equation for equivalent dose? Anong equation mo sa equivalent dose, Kiara?
Hello po, narinig po ako.
Yes, darling, I can hear you.
Yung relative biological effectiveness times absorbed dose
Okay,
po.
correct. Okay, times your absorbed dose. Tama, no? So this is the equation for your equivalent dose. So we have the relative biological effectiveness times the absorbed dose. And remember, your RBE or relative biological effectiveness is equivalent to the amount of effective standard radiation. We have effective standard radiation divided by effective test radiation. So this would be our equation for relative biological effectiveness. At yan yung gagamitin natin, no, to measure, that's the one that we're going to use to measure, no, the amount of radiation necessary for us to have biological effect. Tawag doon is equivalent dose. And yung unit natin, anyways, yung equivalent dose, ang unit natin, it can be in rem. No, it can be in rem or it can be in sieverts. Ito yung dalawang possible unit natin. We have rem and sieverts. And keep in mind, no, that our conversion factor is that sa isang rem, no, ito yung conversion factor natin. In one rem, there is 0.01 sieverts. Ayan yung conversion factor natin. Ulitin ko, ang conversion factor natin is that in one rem, we have 0.01 sieverts. So let us try to solve our first problem. Let me call on Janica. Try natin isolve yung problem number 1.
Hello po, rinig po.
Yes, darling, I can hear you.
The death of mass musculus when irradiated with 250 ano po basa dun, sir?
KVP.
Sige po. 250 kVp X-rays should have an absorbed dose of about 640 rad. If a test radiation is used to irradiate a mass musculus and produce...
Irradiate.
Is used to irradiate a mass musculus and produce death when the absorbed dose is 330 rad. What is the RBE of the said test radiation?
Okay, dito anong tinatanong, Janica?
Yung RBE po.
Nak? Okay, and remember, what's the formula for your RBE, Nak?
Ang formula po for RBE is amount of effective standard radiation divided by amount of effective test radiation po.
Correct. So we have the effective standard radiation divided by effective test radiation. Sige nga, let's try to solve for the RBE. Okay, anong standard radiation mo dito? Anong raw yung standard radiation mo? Anong tawag natin sa standard radiation mo? It is what? Janica, ano yung standard radiation natin in the problem?
640 po.
I mean, anong ang tawag natin sa radiation na ginamit natin as standard radiation? It is what? The
250 kVp X-rays po.
Okay, correct. The 250 kVp X-rays, that would be your standard radiation. And para raw magka-effect yung standard radiation mo, gaano kataas yung absorbed dose?
640 rad po.
Okay, 640 rad. That's correct. Divided by kailan magiging effective yung test radiation mo?
330 rad po.
330 rad. So technically, let's compute for the RBE that would cancel rad. So what would be the amount of effective radiation? Sorry, what would be the amount of the relative biological effectiveness? Anong
Amount
na
niya po,
relative
sir,
biological
is 1.94 po.
Okay, so this would be the amount of relative biological effectiveness. Okay, nakuha. Are you able to follow this one? Okay, now let's try number 2. Try natin yung number 2. Sige. Okay. Nakuha, class. Bago tayo mag-proceed sa problem number 2, did you understand how to compute the RBE or relative biological effectiveness? Okay. Clear naman. No? Okay. Now let's try problem number 2. So let us call on, siguro let's try Kiara. Kiara, can you read problem number 2?
In a diagnostic clinic, a man was being taken with radiographic image of his right arm, weighing 0.8 kilograms. The monitor detects the amount of equivalent dose. It indicates that the tissue being taken with X-ray image 12 rem. What is the equivalent dose in SB? What is the observed dose if RBE in X-rays has ratio of 1?
Okay, so sa letter A, anong tinatanong? What is asked in letter A?
Yung equivalent dose po ng SB.
Okay, ang tinatanong yung equivalent dose in what unit? In what unit? It is in what unit? Kiara, anong unit yung tinatanong?
Yung di ko po alam, sir.
Anong tinatanong? Tama ka, you're asked of the equivalent dose. But the thing is, binigay na dito equivalent dose. Ano rin equivalent dose sa problem na to? Anong equivalent dose mo, Kiara?
12 rem po.
Kiara, you answer. 12 rem. Di ba remember that your equivalent dose, ang unit niya is rem or sieverts. So sa letter A, anong pinapagawa sa equivalent dose? You're asked to transform it to what? From rem to what?
SB po.
Anong tawag siya sa SB na yan na? From rem, you're needed to convert it to what? You needed to convert it to? Anong nangyari? Anong sabi sa problem? From rem, you need to convert it to what? Kiara?
Sa RBE po ba?
Di ba rem nga yung, di ba this is your equivalent dose, rem, 12 rems. Tama. So letter A, pag tinatanong lang is what is the equivalent dose in sieverts, meaning yung rem, gagawin mong ano? You're going to convert it to? Kiara, you read the question. Letter A. Ano yung question letter A?
What is the equivalent dose in SB po?
O, ano nga yung SB? Kiara, wag SB. Basahin mo yan ng tama. That's wrong. You read the SB properly. What is SB? What is SB? Oh, sige. SB is sieverts, di ba? So, ano lang pinapagawa sa letter A, Kiara? You're asked to what? You are asked to convert rem to what?
To sieverts po.
Kiara, uulitin. To sieverts, uulitin lang yung sinabi ko eh. Okay, sa letter A, you are asked to convert rem to sieverts, di ba? What is the equivalent dose in sieverts? Meaning, yung absorbed dose mo in rem, you will convert it to sieverts. And ano ba yung absorbed dose mo? What's the value? Anong value ng absorbed dose mo? Ay, sorry. Absorbed dose ulit. You are asked to convert your equivalent dose in rem to sieverts. Now, what is the value of your equivalent dose, Kiara? Anong value na equivalent dose mo?
0.8 po.
Equivalent dose is kilograms equivalent dose. Sige, let's try to ask the help of others. Okay, Angela, let's help Kiara.
Okay.
Angelo, what is our absorbed dose?
Absorb dose po, sir.
Ha?
Absorb dose po, sir.
Again? What is the equivalent dose of the problem? Ano equivalent dose natin? Angelo, nakasarap ka ng electric fan. Halata. Sakit sa tenga.
12 rem po.
12 rem. Okay. So, your equivalent dose is 12 rem. Ano ro gagawin mo sa, sa unit na rem? You need to convert it to what?
Sieverts po.
Sieverts, hindi sieverts ha, sieverts. Now, in order to convert it to sieverts, gagawa tayong conversion factor. Remember, ano bang conversion factor natin? According to our conversion factor, yung isang rem raw, ilang sieverts ang katumbas?
0.01 sieverts po.
0.01 sieverts. So meaning, pag magko-convert tayo, gagamit tayo ng conversion factor. We are going to use that conversion factor. Now, first, para makancel yung rem dito, saan mo siya ilalagay? Numerator, denominator. Para makancel si rem.
Denominator po. Denominator po.
So, okay, we have 1 rem. Now, sabi dito sa conversion factor natin, in 1 rem, ilang sieverts meron? How many sieverts do we have in 1 rem? We have 0.01 sieverts. So that would be our conversion factor. That would cancel out rem and would leave us sievert. Sige nga, Angelo, what is 12 times 0.01? What's the value?
0.12 po.
0.12. That is 0.12.
Sieverts po.
Sieverts. Sorry for that. Okay, letter B tayo, Carlo. Anong tinatanong sa letter B?
Absorbed dose po.
Kindly read.
What is the absorbed dose if RB in X-rays has a ratio of 1?
Okay, so dito tinatanong yung absorbed dose given the RBE equals to 1. Now, kung meron kang, tignan mo kung meron kang RBE, meron ka ring equivalent dose, how are you going to solve for absorbed dose? Ano equation gagamitin mo? Okay, correct. You are going to use this. So, you're going to use this equation. So, for letter B, ang gagawin natin, we have equivalent dose is equals to what? Ano equation natin, Carlo? Equivalent dose is equals to RBE
multiplied by absorbed dose po.
Times absorbed dose. Ngayon, itong hinahanap natin absorbed dose, so meaning we need to isolate this on one side of the equation. So we need to substitute the value for this. Anong value mo for the equivalent dose?
0.12 sieverts po.
0.12 sieverts. Okay, equals to, anong RBE mo?
1 po.
1 times your absorbed dose. Okay, so let's get the absorbed dose. Anong gagawin mo to isolate AD? What are you going to do?
Ita-transpose po.
Na-transpose ba? Naka-multiply yan. Tinuruan ko na kayo niyan dati. They are multiplied to each other. So what will we do? Ang gagawin mo?
Gagawin po denominator po ng SB.
USB ba magiging denominator? Di pag ginawa mo yan, Carlo, hindi mo in-isolate tong si AD. Si AD nga in-isolate mo eh. Sino i-divide mo on both sides? O sino yung kukunin mo yung multiplicative inverse? You will divide both sides by what, Carlo? You're going to divide both sides by?
AD po.
Carlo, pag dinivide mo yan both sides by AD, lumaki problema mo kasi instead na mahanap mo si AD, napunta si AD sa denominator. Eh, ito nga ina-isolate mo. How would you isolate this one? You will divide both sides by what, Carlo?
1 po.
1, di ba? To isolate AD. That would cancel 1 here and you will get the AD or the absorbed dose. Ano yung absorbed dose mo?
Wait lang po.
What would be your absorbed dose here?
0.12 po.
So it's 0.12 sieverts. Now, let us say dagdag tayo sa problem. Dagdag tayo sa problem ng part C. Let us say you are now asked of the total amount of energy. Tatanong kayo ng total amount of energy. Ngayon, ang alam mo yung value ng absorbed dose, no? You know the value of absorbed dose. And remember, you also know the value of the mass of the arms that is being radiographed, no? So, paano mo ko-compute yung total amount of energy? If you know the absorbed dose and
Absorbed
you know the
dose
mass
po, just divided by mass po. Ay,
of the object.
multiplied by
Correct.
mass po.
Multiplied ba? We have absorbed dose is equals to energy.
Opo, kasi
Ano
energy
equation?
divided by mass po equals absorbed
Okay.
dose.
That's actually correct. Pero let's use dimensional analysis, ha? So that tama siya yung ginagawa niyo. So what's the value of your absorbed dose, Carlo?
0.12 gray po.
Di pa grito, it is in
Rad?
sieverts, di ba? Bakit rad ka? Sieverts ang unit mo. Naalam mo yung energy over, anong mass mo?
0.8 kilogram.
How would you isolate energy? How would you isolate energy?
Ililipat po, sir. Ililipat po yung kilogram.
Wait lang class, I'm checking the conversion factor. Check ko yung conversion factor for the unit. Tignan natin kung kailangan pa natin mag-convert. Okay. Carlo, pwede na pala natin gamitin yung gray dito kasi meaning lang na sievert, minultiply siya sa quality factor. Pwede natin siyang gawing gray, no? So that meron tayong consistency of units. We can use gray na directly instead of using sieverts kasi meaning lang naman na sieverts, you multiply it to a quality factor. Sige nga, Carlo, let's now compute for the amount of energy. So, anong gagawin mo dito to isolate E, to isolate energy, Carlo?
Lilipat po yung kilogram po.
Paano? How? You are going to what? Transpose pa rin. Puro kayo transpose ha. Wala na kayo ibang alam kundi transpose. So po kayo kay Ma'am Jessica. Ako grade 10 na kayo. Hindi dapat ganyan. What are you going to do? Diyan transpose. Naka-divide What are you going to do? O kunyari hinahanap niyo yung value ng x. Anong gagawin mo, Carlo? Halatang di kayo nagpa-practice, di nyo sinasagutan yung practice set. Di kayo marunong mag-manipulate ng equation.
Divide by x po.
What are you going to do? Anong divided by x? Eh di kung dinivide mo yun ng x, ganito mangyayari dyan. O edi lalong lumala yan. Pwede naman pala, pwede, yes, it can be divided by x, pero it will become a complex fraction, pero we don't want that, we don't want to do that. Anong gagawin nyo? What are you going to do? You will cross multiply, or you will get the multiplicative inverse, di ba? So maging 1 is equals to 8x, di ba? Divided by 8 to cancel 8. So x is equals to 1, 8. So, ito, anong gagawin mo? To find e,
Cross multiply
what are you
po.
going to do? Cross multiply, correct. Or multiplicative inverse, mas tama yun actually. You have 0.12 gray times 0.8 kilograms is equals to your energy. Actually, makakancel si kilogram kasi may kilogram dyan sa gray, matitira is joules. So, what would be the amount of energy?
0.096 joules po.
0.096.
0.96.
96 joules. Should be the amount of energy. Okay, thank you, Carlo. Okay, did you understand? Bago tayo magpunta sa radiation protection principle, before we go to radiation protection principle, naiintindihan po ba grade 10? Brenny, pabawas kayo ng pabawas ha. Magpasok-pasukan na iba, tapos yung iba nag-exitan pa ng maaga. Ako, magagalit talaga ako niyan. Brenny, tell them to go back again. Okay, now let's go to radiation protection principle. Unahin natin yung time. Sige nga, we have radiation protection principle. Let's go to radiation protection principle. So, una nating factor na i-consider for radiation protection is time. Sige nga, Janica, anong ginagawa natin sa time? Mini-minimize, mina-maximize. Anong ginagawa natin, Janica? Are we going to minimize or maximize the time?
Hindi, ano po, mina-maximize po?
So meaning, pag mas mahaba yung oras, mas safe? Mas mahaba yung exposure mo sa radiation, mas safe yun? Are you sure? Ikaw ba, pag gusto mo ma-expose sa radiation, mas matagal ka dapat magpapa-expose sa radiation? Or is it the other way around? Ha? Ano ba, Janica? Which is which? Mini-minimize. Di ba? Mina-avoid nga natin radiation. Ikaw naman, min-maximize mo yung oras for radiation. We minimize the amount of time for radiation. Okay. Now, the thing is, we can actually compute for the amount of radiation na absorb natin with a given amount of time. So, in order to do that, ginagawa natin, we have dose, no? Yung amount of radiation na na-absorb mo, because of the exposure rate, no? So, the exposure rate, you have exposure rate times time. So, usually, pag nagde-design kayo ng radiation facility, ang gagawin nyo, aalamin nyo yung exposure rate ng radiation ninyo so that ma-identify nyo yung amount of time dapat, yung amount of time na i-require nyo yung worker to work with your radioactive material. Kung alam nyo yung dose bago magkaroon ng biological effect. So, ganun mag-design. So, if you really wanted to design a radiation facility, alamin nyo kung kailan magkakaroon ng biological effect yung radiation nyo. Kung alam niyo na yung dose at alam niyo yung exposure rate ng radioactive material ninyo, malalaman niyo yung time it takes lang na dapat ma-expose yung workers niyo. So that's how you decide a radioactive facility. So now let's try problems related to time, Janica. So subukan natin. Okay. Janica, kindly read the problem. Janica.
Hello po. Sige. In radiation fluoroscope has a rate of 379.25 mrad per hour.
Millirad per hour.
Millirad per hour. That is used for radiographic imaging of a man. If the duration of the imaging lasts for 12 minutes, what is the dosage received by the man?
So, anong tinatanong sa problem na to, Janica?
Yung amount of dose po.
Na na-receive ng man. So, and to compute for the amount of dose, given the exposure rate and time, anong gagawin mo? We have what equation?
I-multiply po yung exposure rate by time po.
By time. Ganun lang ka-simple. So, technically, to compute for dose, anong exposure rate mo? Anong exposure rate mo, Janica? Janica? Nawala ka.
Yung exposure rate po, sir, is 4,551 po.
Bakit 4,000? Saan mo nakuha yung 4,000?
Minultiply ko po, sir.
Huwag muna. Ito lang. Exposure rate lang. May gagawin pa tayo sa 12 minutes. May kulang pa dyan. What's the value of your exposure rate?
379.25 po.
Okay, correct. 379.25 millirads per hour times time. Anong time mo?
12 minutes po.
12 minutes. Problema, kung mapapansin mo, yung unit dito is hours. So meaning, kailangan mo pa i-convert si 12 minutes to hours. Diba? Sige nga, Janica. So you need to cancel minutes, no? So alam mo na dito dapat yung minutes sa denominator, si R sa taas. Ngayon, sa isang R, ilang minutes meron tayo, Janica?
60 minutes po.
60 minutes. So that would cancel minutes and give us R. So that makakancel natin si R dito. So meaning, you need to do this. We have 379.29 millirad times 12 divided by 60. Sige nga, what's the answer, Janica? What's the amount of dose absorbed by them? Ilang millirads na absorb niya?
Equals to ano po siya, sir? 75.85 po.
75.85 millirad. Let me check kung do we get the same answer. Yeah. Okay, let's try the next one. So, ngayon, Janica, kanina, minimize natin yung time. Ngayon, anong ginagawa natin sa distance?
I-maximize po.
I-maximize kasi the greater the distance you have from the radioactive material, mas bumababa yung dosage. At ang maganda dito, pag kunyari, nag-increase kayo ng distance, from the pag nag-increase kayo ng distance from the radioactive sources, no, bumababa yung natin, yung radiation dose natin. The thing is, what you need to understand is that para mag-decrease yung dosage natin, kailangan square ng distance yung increase natin. So, for example, if we wanted to decrease, if we wanted to decrease the dosage twice or double, no, i-double natin yung pagbaba ng dosage, kailangan natin mag-increase ng distance 4 times from the radioactive sources kasi squared yung proportionality natin. Kumbaga, kasi gusto natin twice yung decrease, no, double yung decrease ng dosage, Meaning, i-square natin yon to get the amount of distance we need to go away from the radioactive sources para bumaba ng doubled yung radiation dosage natin. And in this case, 2 squared is equals to 4. So meaning 4 times natin increase yung distance natin para mag-double lang yung decrease in radiation dosage. Meaning, the proportionality between your distance and dosage would be the square, no? Would be the square of distance, no? And because of that, pwede nating ma-predict yung amount of dosage na made-decrease with a given distance that we have if we know this proportionality. So, plus ganito, let us say meron tayong initial dosage, no? At yung distance natin, let's not use D, malilito tayo. Siguro let's use I. Mas maganda ba I? Para hindi nakakalito. Sige, let's use I. So, kunyari, meron tayong initial dosage, no? The initial dosage natin. At for that initial dosage, we have a certain amount of distance. So, that would be our initial distance. Ngayon, to predict class, the decrease in dosage or yung final dosage natin, if we increase our distance, no? We can use this equation kung saan dapat naka-square yung distance natin. And the reason bakit naka-square yung distance natin kasi in order for you to decrease the dosage of your radiation, kailangan increase natin yung distance by its square. So meron siyang inverse square proportionality. The relationship between your dosage and your distance is in inverse square proportionality. So meaning in short, class, in order to double the decrease, no? The decrease in the absorbed dose, kailangan nating mag-increase ng square, no, nung distance natin just to double, no? To double the decrease in absorbed dose. So that's our proportionality in terms of distance. But the thing is, meaning nun, if that would be the case, no, kailangan natin as much as possible to maximize our distance from the radioactive source, just in order for us to decrease the amount of dosage that we are able to absorb. Now, pag nagde-design tayo ng radiation facility, ganyan, ginagawa natin, no? So, as much as possible, yung workers natin, linalayo natin from the radioactive source, no? And we compute class for the, kunyari, we wanted to decrease the amount of dosage na ma-absorb ng ma-absorb ng workers nyo 5 times, no? 5 times. And in order to do that, you need to get the square of 5, no? So, meaning 25 times yung i-decrease. Sorry, kung 5 times yung i-decrease yung dosage for your workers, 25, kasi 5 square is 25. 25 dapat yung increase ng 25 times dapat, or a scale of 25 times yung distance nung workers ninyo from the radioactive sources. So, meaning, you need to maximize distance as much as possible in order for you to decrease the dosage of the radioactive material. So, let's try to solve problem related to distance. Again, let's have Janica again to help us solve 4 problems related to distance. Okay, let us try this one. Can you read the problem, Janica?
A worker in a nuclear energy plant receives 20
millirems
at the distance of 75 meters from the radiation source. If he would quadruple his distance, what is the amount of radiation he would receive?
So dito, anong initial dosage mo, Janica? Anong initial dosage mo? Janica, anong initial dosage mo? It's what?
It's 20 millirems po.
At anong tinatanong sa problem natin? We are asked of the what?
Amount of radiation po na natatanggap.
So, meaning ang tinatanong, amount of radiation na matatanggap mo if what did you do to the distance? You what?
Quadrupled po.
You quadruple your distance. So, technically, no, kung quadruple mo yung distance, no, ano yung magiging dosage na matatanggap natin? Do you follow, Shanika?
Yes po.
Now, initially, anong distance natin?
75 meters po.
And anong gagawin natin sa distance? What are we going to do? We are going to what?
Quadruple po.
Quadruple. So ano bang quadruple ng 75 meters? Anong quadruple? Meaning, multiply mo sa ilan, Janica? Quadruple.
By squared po. So,
Anong squared? Anong squared ka dyan, Janica? Quadrupled. Anong meaning ng quadrupled? Ilang beses mo siya
ay, 4 po.
4. So, 75 times 4 is how many meters?
Ang result niya po sa akin, sir, is 31 million po. 600.
Mamaya na isagot. Mamaya na isagot, Janica. Anong quadruple ng 75 meters? What's the quadruple of 75 meters? It's what? Janica, 75 times 4. Quadruple.
Sorry po. Kala ko po 300 po.
300 meters. Pinapahirapan niyo yung sarili niyo, ha? Napaka-straightforward ng problem. So now let's substitute. So we have initial radiation. Ano initial radiation mo, Janica?
20 millirems.
What's your initial radiation? 20 millirems, correct. Over, hindi natin alam yung final. Hindi natin alam yung final dosage. Is equals to, anong initial distance natin?
75 meters po.
We have 75 meters squared. Over, anong final distance natin?
300 meters po.
300 meters squared. Sige nga, let's solve. We have 20 millirem over final dosage is equals to. Sige nga, what is 75 squared divided by 300 meters squared? So, obviously, makakancel yung meter. What is 75 squared over 300 squared?
0.25 po.
0.25
po.
Okay, next. What are we going to do if we wanted to find this one, yung final dosage mo? Anong gagawin mo?
Multiply po yung 20 millirems by 0.25.
Ay, wait lang, Janica, I have fault here. Nabaliktad ko. Remember that this is inverse proportionality. So I did it the other way around. Kung inverse proportionality, ang initial mo dapat na distance is nasa denominator, ang final distance mo is nasa numerator. Sorry for that. So anong nagkamali dito? Anong gagawin natin dito?
Sir, nasa ilalim po dapat yung 75.
Tapos yung 300 nasa taas. Correct. Nabaliktad ko. Let us repeat it. So we have 300 meters sa taas. Kasi this is the final distance and 75 meters sa denominator. Because this is the initial distance due to the fact that this is an inverse proportionality. So what's the answer?
4 meters po. Ay, 4 po. Lang po.
4. Okay. 4 talaga?
Opo, sir.
So what will we do to get the final dosage?
I-multiply po yung 4 by 20 po.
Uy, ganun ba yun? Ito yung nahanap mo. You need to isolate this one. How would you isolate this one? Ito cross?
Cross multiply po.
Ayo paulit-ulit na tayo dito. Cross multiply. So what will happen? Mangyari, we have 20 millirem. Magiging over what, Janica?
Over 4 po.
Over 4 is equals to what?
5 po.
Anong 5 is equals to?
Is equals to... ano po?
Equals to what? Final dosage. Sigurado ka dyan, Nika, 4 to?
Opo, sir.
4 to? Okay, good. Sige, what would be the answer?
5 po.
5 milligrams. Okay. Naiintindihan, class? So, I will not elaborate yung shielding kasi it would take higher knowledge on radiation protection. So,